We were actually right at the precipice of buying a house or looking to buy a house in the market. And as soon as 2020 hit, we were kind of like, you know what, let's wait.
Matt Tennyson, a former HCC student and an adjunct professor in HCC's journalism department, found himself at a crossroads when the pandemic hit. The rising cost of housing, along with industry shutdowns, inspired Matt and his wife Kara to join the growing Skoolie movement, undertaking the task of turning a school bus into a home on wheels.
In the beginning of 2020, my wife and I were looking at trying to buy a house, and we had saved up a bunch of money, and we were starting to look at properties and actually going out to looking at them. And then everything shut down, and we kind of looked at ourselves and said, well, maybe we should put a break on that for a minute. And that's when we kind of moved into the idea of the bus, just given the nature of how crazy things are. And, oh, there's a supply chain disruption over here, or there's a mandate here, or there's a this or that, whatever. It's just nice to have options. And I think given the increasingly tumultuous climate of where we live and just in general in the world right now, I like to be able to have the option to move about as I see fit, even though it's not done yet. That's kind of the vision of trying to get to that point of having that level of flexibility. We were inspired by a couple of YouTubers that are doing it, We got the bus on an auction, our jaws dropped and we went, wow, we got it for $2,700. And we got on a flight to Colorado, picked it up and drove it all the way back to Maryland. We were on our way, and so 1,400 miles later, it's here. People have been converting school buses since like the 60s. I mean, it's been a thing for a long time. And ever since 2020 happened, I think the movement's really exploded. It's a simpler lifestyle, and you're spending more time having experiences with people you love rather than worrying about taking care of all the stuff that people are accumulating. So, I mean, it's just a different philosophy. And it's not going to work for everybody, It's a rough transition for some people.
From the beginning, Matt has worked side by side with his wife Kara, although she had some concerns at first.
I was a little hesitant, because it's a big project, but I'm happy with what we're doing so far. We've slowed down, but that really isn't much to do with the pandemic and more to do with gathering our materials in order to complete it, because inflation.
The price of metal, the price of lumber, the price of everything is going up. So, I mean, that presents a little bit of a challenge, but when that happens, you just have to get more creative as opposed to buying everything brand new right out of Home Depot because, those prices are just skyrocketing. So we have a lot of work to do, basically. Once we just call in some reinforcements and get all of our supplies, we'll be able to get through this a lot quicker. Because I've basically been my own boss and been an entrepreneur for the past couple of years, I personally feel like I have a lot of options to dip into to keep money coming as this thing grows up. For the past couple of years, the whole diversifying my income streams has worked pretty well for me, so I think I'm just going to keep up with that spirit and not tie myself down to anything one in particular. We really want to go to a lot of, most of the national parks. We've already been to a bunch of them, but we'd love to take the bus to them as well. I've always been somebody that's been more attracted to the alternative lifestyles myself anyway, and my wife has as well, so we just thought we'd give it a shot, see how it goes.